Okay, yeah, great. I just, sorry for the delay.
Oh, look at that, he marked up your floor.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, let's actually, I have all different kinds of props here today, because today we're going to work on the four corners, which is confusing to a lot of people, so I made this little tape map here, but we're not going to use it because I think it's just going to make things even more confusing. So let's do something, and then we'll talk about this once we get started. So allow your feet to touch. Bring your head top up to the highest point. Relax your shoulders. Relax your hips. Bring your hands together in the center. And then internally, we'll say connect the tongue to the upper palate. And then we're activating, lifting the base of the torso in timing with the breathing. And then also inside the shoes, we're activating the toes and the whole front of the foot. In fact, grip your toes until you can feel your kneecaps. Grip your toes until there's a connection from the front of your foot all the way up to the top of your thigh, or bottom of your thigh, the base of your upper leg. And then do one more thing. The past couple weeks we've been talking about relaxing your spine and making it stable. So while you're standing in this position, unlock your spine, pull your head top up, straighten your neck, relax your tailbone, and allow your spine to somehow float back there while you stand. Take a long deep breath. Let's start with some Qigong, just the basic. So breathing, make this a stretch, reach all the way up, reach all the way out to the sides, and you don't have to sink, but if you do, make sure that your knees stay behind your toes. This is a good exercise to practice squatting, because our vision is following the hands and the hands stay within the vision. So while we're stretching, when we're sinking here, the vision allows us to monitor the knees very accurately. And if you look down and you see your knees are going forward, that means you have to push your tailbone back and away. So while you practice this one, make the back stable. While you're breathing, check to see that you have the minimum of a half smile. When I had mentioned some of the internal, external principles for our standing. Half smile is the minimum, at least. Do 3 more, go at your own pace. Make it the longest, most relaxed. Imagine at the top you're stretching like when you first wake up. When you finish, return to Tai Chi Harmony. So allow your feet to touch. Bring your hands together. And then do a full calibration. Relax your face. Open the sinuses in the nostrils. Activate the corners. Relax the jaw. Connect the tongue to the roof of the mouth. Keep your chin tucked, unroll the shoulders, leave a space in the armpit. Feel like the center is strong, supporting, and at the back as well. fold the insides of the hips, relax the legs. If you're new, the knees have a bend, slight bend in them. We don't have them locked. Activate your ankle, your heel, the outside of the foot, the front and top of the foot, and then activate the arch like in fact, like you want to flex the arch, make the arch as big and strong as you can, and then try to keep that shape relaxed. Okay, let's do another type of warm-up. This is just practicing Jinji Duli between one side and the other, stepping left side if I'm standing, my feet are shoulder width wide, I'm changing from one side to the other. But in addition to doing the Qigong, trying to build the oxygen level, build the Qi level before we work out, I want you to practice another concept that we've been talking about, which is stabilizing the back. And I have a great analogy for it. Recently I've been reading about a product, a car manufacturer, Rolls-Royce. They offer a driving course where their cars are so expensive and need to be operated in a certain way. And one of the features of their driving course is to teach the drivers how to stop so slowly that a champagne glass that has champagne in it will not spill. And so this is learning how to have the power slow down to a stop where it doesn't affect anything around it. So that they refer to it as the champagne stop. And in Tai Chi, we don't actually ever really stop, but we can use this idea of smoothness and control of our system to practice Tai Chi the way that we really want. So changing from one side to the other, when you reach Jinji Duli, I can only imagine what YouTube Translate is doing to the words Jinji Duli. I've heard stories that sometimes it makes funny translations. So how do we get to the champagne stop? It's in the back. Stabilize your back, and all of the controllers that come off the end of it, your hands and feet, will also be stable, changing to the other side. Keep working, keep going. So turn this also, this is Qigong, we're using this as warm-up, like I said, to increase the Qi, to increase the amount of O2 in our full system. So we can use this idea to have good Tai Chi. Don't have tension. So even though you may want to control the movement to make it stable, it should be effortless. And if what we're practicing right now is all completely yin, Y-I-N, yin, like yin yang, meaning soft, slow, then where is the yang? The yang is happening on the inside. So when we're here, this is stored potential energy. The yang that's expressed comes out the inside. So we have the power. Here you're saving the Qi You don't have to put the pedal to the metal. You can simply cruise. Okay, so let's talk about the tape on the floor. Today we're going to work on four corners, which is the second custom movement in the third section. And I had built this sort of grid. These are actually four squares that are overlapped. And I was going to show how you have your feet in one square, and then you transition, and you have your feet in the other square, and then you transition, and then you're in another square, and then you transition. The tape is going to be too confusing, so I'm going to pull that up. I think it will just add to the already confusing nature of four corners. So we're going to do something much simpler. But before we do that, I'm going to also talk about some of these other props. So while I'm over here, how many here do any type of seated meditation? Everybody should raise their hands. It's a vital, important component of studying Chinese martial arts and Tai Chi. If you don't do seated meditation, you should at least do some kind of standing meditation, or take at least a minute, 2 minutes when you're lying down on the couch, in the bed, etc., to do some meditation. But that leads us to our next topic, which is this. This is a meditation board. What makes it so special? Absolutely nothing. This is a piece of wood. It's 2 foot by 2 foot. This is a standard cut you can get at any hardware store. And I got one pretty thick. I think this is 3/4 of an inch. And I buffed down the corners with a little bit of sanding. And what you see here on either side of me are pieces of wood. This piece of wood is a regular piece of 2x4, right? It's something. What's the purpose of it? Well, when we sit in the lotus style, we practice a lot of the same ideas when we're standing in Tai Chi harmony. The feet do something different. But if you sit to protect your knees, if I sit flat on the ground as such, my tailbone and my knees are at the same level, especially if I start to sit in a full lotus, something like this, right? But if I sit on this, my tailbone is raised up higher than my knees by 2 to 4 inches, depending on the size of the piece of wood you put behind you. And so for here, if you like to practice extended meditation, something where you're going to sit for an hour or more, you should use the correct tools. So that's a meditation board. You can use wood scraps. The other one is a yoga block, which we're going to talk about another time. Let's stay focused on Tai Chi. Warm up, let's stretch a little bit more. Take your hand, reach across, stretch everything. The head top goes up, the tailbone goes down, the arms go out to the sides. Up, down, left, right. Breathe deep. Change, do the other side. Same thing. Let the breathing expand the stretch. Come back to the center. Lock your shoulders. And then, like you're giving yourself a neck extension. So turning a circle, but you're also, imagine like a giraffe waking up, likes to stretch the neck, change directions if you haven't already. The whole time we're constantly pushing up through the top of the head, or feeling like the head and neck are being stretched. Come back to the center, open the shoulders. Change directions, use your whole torso. Alternate. come back to the center. We're going to do some more work for the shoulders. For this one, earlier we had talked about stabilizing the spine. I want you to have the same idea while we're doing this. Don't let your spine wobble and float around. Even if you're using force, even if you're using some power, you can still control where the spine is. So make your center line stable, allow your shoulders, you can hit your hands together in the back. And then the same thing, we want to make sure our head top is pushing up. So stretching in all directions so that this cross beam from the spine and the shoulders is being open. That's actually one of the things I was going to show with the yoga block, but I feel like maybe I should just leave that to yoga teachers. This is to open the shoulders, this one here. Let's come back to the center, turning. So pull the head top up, relax the tailbone down, long breathing. And then see if you can, we talked about stabilizing the spine with the center, but see if you can use it to control the rotation as well. Let's do a little bit of folding. Grip the ground, push your tailbone back and away, relax your arms, your head and neck, let everything relax. Imagine that your body has been folded over something. When you're ready, grip your ground, grip the ground, strengthen your connection to the ground. Breathe, inflate all the way up. And relax. Let's do a little bit of leg stretching. Shoulder width wide, shoulder width deep. And then the same thing, if you let everything relax, you can get a deeper stretch, you can breathe more. And either turn the head and the eyes all the way up or all the way down. One way or the other. Either straighten the neck or curve it. When you're ready, push forward, breathe deep. Stand, and do the other side as well. Push your tailbone away, use your toes to grip the ground, pull your other toes upwards, closer to the zenith. When you're ready, push forward, breathe forward. And we're going to do the third section today. And it contains a lot of components in the first and second section. But the custom movements, the specialty movements in the third section, more increasingly complex. The fortunate thing is we've just practiced the 3 kicks, the turning at the end of the second section, which is arguably one of the more difficult sections. So instead of that crazy grid thing that we had earlier, I'm going to make 4 lines, very simply indicating the direction that we're facing. Sure it's visible on camera. You can kind of see that. Let's need to move this stuff this way. Okay. That should be close enough. So, for 4 corners, these tape lines that I just put indicate the front of my square. So in Tai Chi, we talk about using a square base. So for each of these, the front of my square is going to be facing in this corner, then in this corner, then to the southwest, and to the southeast, assuming that's north. So let's, with some guides in place, if we have hook and parallel whip and we're facing center north, don't worry about the arm movement too much. Just get your feet to the right place. So this is left foot forward, right foot back. I have a square, and here my left hand is on top, my right hand is pressing. So we're going to change. Just take one backward step, one forward step, pivot, right foot's forward on this one. Right? I'm going too slow. So here, turn, step, here's my square. Right foot forward, left foot back, my right hand is on top. Let's practice. There's only two postures, but the transition between them is complex. So in one of them, I have my right foot forward, my back foot, my left foot in the back, and my right hand is up. My left hand is this. This is easy to remember. You can think horizontal, vertical. So the hand's this way. Where do they go? You want to be able to see at least through the gap. So this is one posture. The other one is the mirror. So that means my left foot is forward, my right foot is back. My left hand is up, my right hand vertical, horizontal. 1, 2. 1, 2. Very easy. And you can think of this very simply as if you're pushing on a door. If my left foot is forward, my left hand is across here, my right foot is back, and my right hand. So these are planar. And you could make them planar with your foot. They may not normally be quite that far forward because this hand may be pushing. Let's try again. Coming facing north from parallel whip. Don't worry about the hands. We're going to put left hand and left foot forward, and the right hand presses. So we're going to turn. You can take as many steps as you need. 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps. Now my right foot is forward. My right hand is on top, left hand pushing through. Let's continue to the next one. I'm going to retract and recoil everything, and then very simply step my left foot and left hand forward. There's a full step in there, but I'm making it simple. And you see my square, the front of my square is facing the southwest. The third transition from 3 to 4 is the same as 1 to 2. So I step back, I put my left foot in place, my right foot steps to the square, right hand in front, left hand in front. In the form, it does not transition back to the first one, but it could, and we're going to practice that as an exercise. So I'm going to bring everything back to the center, left foot, press, turning, right hand, right foot, bring everything back, recoil, left hand, left foot, turning, place the left foot, place the right foot, press. So, take a break for a second, relax your mind, and say, what is all of this doing? So this movement in the third section, you can just observe. Imagine that I have an opponent standing at each of these lines, and I'm stuck in the center. So for the first opponent, I have to press. But my open gate is to the right. But instead of just turning to the right to deal with this opponent at this line, I'm going to turn backwards to deal with the opponent at this line. And then this is my open gate, So why don't I turn backwards to deal with this one? We could. But in the form, we're going to make 4 corners. So this is the idea. 4 corners from an overall gives the Tai Chi player a conceptual way to deal with multiple opponents in a very confusing fashion. So one of the Yang Tai Chi books says, even though 1,000 people trying to attack you at the same time, it says only 4 or 5 of them can actually be close to you at any time, right? So we've seen movies and you hear stories about the hero being surrounded by thousands of enemies. The Tai Chi gives a technique for how to deal with this, and 4 corners is the basis of it. It's teaching us to turn in two different ways. So if I'm facing due north, I'm turning about 45 to get to this corner. But when I turn this way, it's 270 degrees. My body turns 270. Now it turns 90. Now it turns 270. Now it turns 90 degrees. Now it turns 270. 90. 270. 90. So it does not continue in this way. It can also go the other direction, but I feel like it's confusing enough as it is. Don't worry, this one we will continue to work on. This is challenging to work on in real person, so I feel like this is the first time I've taught 4 corners on video. If it has been, it's been a couple of years, and I have to go back and review those. So we'll just sort of work right through that in the form. For those of you that are new, or if this is challenging, come back to the anchor points. Anytime you hear rollback, press, push. So we're going to do the first part of the 3rd section. And the reason I say the first part is because the form that we practice is pretty interesting. We can actually use some tape. If the 3rd section is this much, the 2nd section is about this much, and the 1st section is about something like this. So the 1st section, I don't know if this is clear because of all the light, has about 25 postures. The 2nd one has about 50, and the 3rd one has about 75. So our form has about 153 to 155 postures, depending on how you slice it. And the 3rd form is as long as the first 2 combined. If you look at the number of postures, the amount of time it takes to do it. So we're not going to have time to do the whole 3rd form and talk about different parts of it today. But we are going to practice the first part. So we're going to start the 3rd form the same way. Before we continue, anyone have questions, thoughts, comments? You can unmute, blurt them out as you mean. Yeah, we're going to start the 3rd section the same way we start 1st and 2nd, just in the middle, because in the 1st section we start to the side, but here we're going to start in the middle. So recalibrate, starting in Tai Chi harmony. So fix the head top, the face, the eyes, the mouth, tongue, jaw. Connect the head top and neck, and then pull the head top up, relax the shoulders, hollow the torso, grip your feet, relax your tailbone. And when we open, we're just going to start, we can start as if we're returning tiger to mountain, or we can start as if we're turning body, morning palm facing the south, palm pressed to the center, breathing to roll back. Turn back to the south, press, push. Control your spine as if you like to make a champagne stop. Double press. Horizontal split. Hook. I'm facing east. I'm going to do a side whip. Parallel whip. And then this is Yama Fazang, wild horse parting its mane. Sink the left side comes up through the center, expand, sink the right side comes up through the center, expand, and then roll back. We go back to the basics. Press. Push. Left. Lance right. Double press. Horizontal. Split hands. This is hook. Side whip. So now we're facing north. This is four corners. So first we're going to go to the northeast. Next, we're going to go to the northwest. Next is southwest. And then we're going to turn 270 to southeast. And if you have been having difficulty following along, starting from here, right hand forward, right foot forward, right hand on top. This is like a fancy rollback that has a step. Press, and then goes right into press, push. Look left, glance right, double press. You know all of this movement already. Horizontal split. I'm moving to stay on camera. Hook. This is corner whip. So I'm turning my square, and this is the first snake creeping down. And come, let's actually stop there. So after we have four corners, let's look at the third section in sort of a fast forward mode, just from what we've covered so far. So when we start, we can start from turning body, warning palm. We go through the main course, side whip, wild horse parts its mane, 1, 2, 3. We go through roll back, all of the other stuff. Hook and whip, side whip, four corners. And then this next one, you can just do roll back, press, push. But there's a specialty. By the time the student is at the third section, we're adding something to this roll back. If I face the camera when I'm doing it, I would be facing southeast normally. But this roll back has a press. Our normal roll back, just turning to lead the object. This one has a force that's coming in behind it. And it has I think it has a special name. I don't think it's just called rollback. You have to look at the text forms. But this is actually one place where I have created an addition to TC's form. You don't have to do it. Doesn't have to be this way. I like to jump. I like jumping. I have strong legs, and I'm good at jumping. So you can add a jump if you're familiar. For people that have been practicing for some time, anyone that's been here for a while, is after this fourth corner, after you catch, the left foot comes up with the right hand, press. So this is TC and Sung Young Ho, his teacher, and their teachers did not have a jump. This was actually inspired by a Tai Chi master named Yang Yang. He wrote a book, a very intriguing book, But if you watch, I believe it's his yang form. I don't think it's his chen form. He has a jump, right? It's a bouncing step. So from the fourth corner, we can just roll back, press, push, but the more advanced step press to a straight press. Yeah. So now let's look at what happens when we're doing the form, the ordering. So you notice we keep coming back to the front, right, in these. And first we have a parallel step. We go 4 corners. The next one is corner whip. If we continue, the next one is parallel. We do cloud hands. And then the following one from there is corner whip. So as you learn the ordering, as we practice the ordering, hook, it will become less confusing. Let's continue. Let's just do the first part of the third section again before we do questions, thoughts, comments, ideas. Okay, so starting from the center, if we start from Tai Chi Harmony, we can go right into turning body, warning palm, control your spine, control your breathing, roll back, press. Even if we move a little faster, push. You can still make the movement in the spine, originating from the spine, smooth. Double press. Horizontal. Split. Hook. Side whip. Wild horse, parting its mane right. Wild horse, parting its mane left. Wild horse, parting its mane right. And then we return, roll back. Press. Push. Left. Glance right. Double press, horizontal split. We're facing north again. Hook, side whip, turn and press to the northeast. Turn, press, northwest. This is almost like a pitcher's windup. Closing and then sending the power to the corner. Looking first, step, coil, press, roll back, press, push. Left, glance right. Double press, horizontal split. I'm doing the footwork weird for that on purpose. Hook. Now see, we're facing the front again. This time it's a diagonal. So instead of parallel for 4 corners, we go diagonal. This is the first snake creeping down. Come back across. D long. What we started earlier. Jinji Buli on the right. Changing. Jinji Buli on the left. The next one we know, repulse the monkey. It's identical to the second section. Scoop, step back, press, scoop, step back, press, share fade, opening. The needle at the bottom of the C changes. The hand that's active and the foot that's active change. But San Kong Bay, the rest of this is identical to the second section. Punch. This is a full knees down. Third section has a half full knees down. Return to rollback. Press. push, look left, glance right, double press, horizontal split. Look, we're facing north again, hook. Last one was diagonal, that means this one is parallel, and this is cloud hands in the third section. Right, left, right, left, right, left. And let's actually look corner with, let's return back to the basic. Let's not go past cloud hands for now. We have about 15 minutes left. Let's do the same exact thing we just did again. Let's do the third section from the beginning up to cloud hands at about that speed. We can slow down and practice a sort of more qigong style practice in the backyard, in the park, when we have some time alone to practice. But since our time is limited, we'll sort of work with the 1.5x button pressed on the recorder, on the playback. So, starting in Tai Chi Harmony, actually do a reset. The calibration is like when you turn the computer on and the screen lights up to tell you, or when you push the button to start your car, the gauges give you indication. So make this a reboot. You can refresh your brain, you can refresh your breathing pattern, refresh your body from muscle memory and stress. So pull the head top up, relax your brow, open your vision, open the nostrils, expand your sinuses, connect the tongue, activate at least a half smile, relax your jaw, make sure that it's tucked and not pushing forward, straighten the neck, shoulders. I want to say the angle here is 23 degrees. Master Su says, look, I can't wear a backpack because it slides off, because the natural position, you have to have some stress to wear a backpack. Correct. Use the center, relax the tailbone, expand the lower back. The tailbone should feel heavy, like an anchor, sinking down. Fold the insides of the hips, relax your knees, pump the ankles up. Use your whole foot, activate your toes, expand the arch, open the center of your foot, open the crown chakra. Did we talk about connecting the tongue to the upper palate? Yes. Did we talk about lifting the base of the torso and the breathing? If you do all of these things all the time, your body will stay in a fantastic shape. The energy will be open, able to travel. So, from here we're going right into turning body, warming palm. You don't need to see the screen. Turn to the south, palm press to the center. Breathe deep to roll back. Join the palms, press. Push. Look left. Glance right. Double press. We're turning our square 90 degrees to the east. We have the Ao-Sho, which is hook, side whip, and then wild horse 1, wild horse 2, wild horse 3, roll back, press, push, left, glance right, double press, horizontal split. I'm going to move a little bit. Hook, this is side whip, and this is four corners. So the first one, just turning northeast. Turning 270 northwest, turning 90 southwest, turning 270 southeast, roll back, press, push. I'm facing east, by the way. Look left, glance right, double press, horizontal, split hands. Hook. This is corner whip. This is the first snake creeping down. Snake creeps down. Dig the earth dragon. Golden rooster 1. Golden rooster 2. Repulse the monkey. Same as the second section. Sherfei is the same as the second section. Shoulder bone, expanding. Left hand, left foot, high gizang. San Kong Bei. Block, punch. Kick, square step. Line. Shui. Di Bu Hua. Keep your back stable. Breathe deep. Shang Bu Yi. Change step. Roll back. Press. Push. Left. That's right. Double press. Are you relaxed enough to smile? Split. Hook. This is side whip. Cloud hands. Right. Left. Number 2. Right. Left. Number 3. Right. Left. Now shows. Forward. Questions, thoughts, comments, ideas. So let's try to do the first 3 corners of 4 corners again to revisit it. Repetition actually will help you. So if there's a part of the form that you don't know, there's sort of 2 recommendations. One is to practice around it. Just like if you have a song that you like, and when you hear it, you know most of the words, sing the words that you do know, and you can work around the other ones. If there's some portion of it that you're not sure of, but you know the rest of it, you can do that. Or, the alternative is to zoom in, find a video, you can contact me, we can work on something either individually or I can make a specific video, and practice it 10,000 times until it becomes very clear. And then you won't forget. This is the same with the form. The more that you practice it, the more it's ingrained, and later you don't need to think so much to recall what's next. So let's do 4 corners if there's no questions. We have, it looks like about 10 minutes left. So from here, my right hand and right foot. Remember, we talk about 6 harmonies, and by the time we're in the 3rd section, that should be very clear. So from my hook and whip, my hand and foot are moving. My opponent, my first opponent, is coming from this angle. So I'm going to turn here, the avoid, because maybe I want to keep avoiding so that power can move through. Even if I stand closer to the camera, it can help. So my hand and foot changing. The next one is to make contact. My other foot and hand working, coming together. If I change from another angle, that's now north. Scoop, scoop here. This is this hand and foot. I have my avoid. And then my whole left side moving forward. The last part is very simple. So if I'm facing this direction, avoid, make contact, advance. And this posture, by the way, very similar to something we see in Babajan. They have something called leaning against horse. There may be another style calling this like a unicorn branch or unicorn claw or something like that. But we have this. This is a triangle. It's in front of us, right? Pretty difficult to, this is from a boxer's perspective. Shingi, right? We have this kind of gait. So in Tai Chi is here. So if I'm facing forward, scoop, scoop. Here's my triangle. Now, so far, all we've been doing is turning the palms to press. But the sort of more advanced ways, my teacher would say, you know how to play darts? You want to throw a dart at the board? He says, after you get to this point where the hands are here, like you picking up a dart, and then you're going to throw them from this position. So you're going to rotate your wrists and press. So starting from here, almost like you're bringing the power towards you first and then sending it away. So in the form, I've just been going 1, 2, 3. But to connect the dots with some type of fluidity, right? With some type of Taiji, we want to find that three-dimensional Tai Chi Yin Yang happening, right? So you can think of this like the way a washing machine takes the stuff, turns it inside out, right? And that is for all corners, by the way. So let's practice. We have scoop, scoop, and then from here, turn your palms in and then out. And now for the next corner, the same thing. I look first, step, and the hand moves at the same time. My left hand and left foot come in to my square, and then now the same thing. These hands are going to scoop under and press. So it has this vortex type movement. Now what about for the side? From here, I'm clearing out. I have to watch my wall, right? Is here, scoop, and these hands, after I clear out, I'll stand closer to camera, coming back up this way. And the attack for this, by the way, is really depending on what you're dealing with your opponent. But the concept is one hand is supporting their weapons. So whatever they have here, this hand is just rolling up to be underneath. This other hand doing the pushing is one application. But there's another application. I don't have a bag. I can open a door. Is if we have this, and my opponent's structure is here, right? Like in Bagwajong, they have a double slapping palm. This type of power, right? You can apply that like you're smashing a wall. That's your opponent's structure right here. But you can also use it. You're blocking this one, and palm, like a single palm press to the torso, to the face, to the chest, somewhere. Right? Applications will come out of it. Let's try it just one more time before we do some qigong to close. So from here, right hand and foot move. Left hand and foot step. Curl your fingertips to press. And try to relax your shoulders. And then looking first, the right hand, right foot. Left hand, left foot. And then you see my right foot back here? I'm jiggling it. As I go to press, I'm going to step to the square. Bring everything to the center, scooping here, and then pressing. You can follow step to the southwest. And the third to fourth is the same. So I'm going to look first. I'm going to turn my right side. Press. So my right hand, right foot. Left hand, left foot. Right hand, right foot. Same one as in front. That should help you remember. The rest of the details will become more clear. This is Tai Chi will also, if you don't have a good sense of map making or direction in your mind, learning which directions are which, because in the way that my brain does it, it's always remembering that north is north. So I have sort of invisible compass set. And then when I change directions, it's always there. If you don't have practice with this type of imagination, it can be cultivated. Before we continue, questions, thoughts, comments? It says we have about 3 minutes, so let's do some closing. If you do, by the way, you can. Are you saying something? I see hand moving, but okay, cool. All right, let's recalibrate. Allow your feet to touch. Bring everything to the center, and then relax. Today, we didn't talk a lot about turning the waist, so as if you're holding something on each side, we're going to do this one. But I want you to maximize your waist turn. Your eyes are following that hand. Keep that hand flat and turn as much as you can. Keep the head top up there. Breathing deep. Go at your own pace. You can time it with the movement. You can time it with the breathing. But it's Saturday, so you've made it to the end of the week, and it's the end of the Tai Chi class, so you should be able to take a big sigh of relief. Hopefully it's all weekend from here for you. This one you can do fast or slow. I'm recommending slow to medium. Regain some of the chi that we spent in our brain being frustrated with four corners. And remember to turn the waist. Long breathing. When you've balanced it out, do make sure that you've done equal amount on both sides. And then return again to Tai Chi Harmony. Let's do a little bit of Qi collecting. Put your mind into the Dantian and imagine everything that we've done today is collecting there. All the energy. Even if you didn't get to see the whole class, or you didn't get to understand maybe some idea that you wanted to, your learning process is there. You've gained energy. You have experience from participating. And then move your mind up into the center of your brain. And the same way we said you can sort of relax your spine, stabilize your spine, you can do the same thing for your brain. So allow your brain to relax. Take a deep breath. Have a gratitude practice on the inside. Take a second. Give thanks to yourself, for yourself. One long last deep breath. And that's it. Okay, I've been